Hey, welcome to another Mustang Ministries video, Getting to the High Country. You got Tim Milliken, Bill Snow, my name's Marty Roark. We're going to do a trailer loading video today with Ruby. Rachel's got Ruby here with us today, and Ruby's got a little bit of trouble kind of getting in the trailer. Tim and Rachel will be covering that in just a second. Just wanted to thank you for watching our video. Hope that you get something out of it, and we just are going to pray that God is truly glorified through it all.
Okay, we're here with Rachel, Mustang Ministries. We're going to do a horse loading demonstration today, and Rachel has a horse that she has a little trouble with. Tell us about your horse, what issues you've had with her, with the trailer, what her history is with the trailer. That way we got a little history of what's going on.
Well, she's a 4-year-old quarter horse, and she's pretty well-mannered, but she doesn't want a trailer. It's pretty much off and on. Sometimes she'll do it okay, and sometimes she won't, but most of the time she just refuses. Or she'll put her front feet in and back out, front feet in, back out, okay. That sort of thing.
All right. So she hasn't ever really had a wreck or anything. She just doesn't really she's just not too sure about the trailer.
Yes, and She likes to pretend that she's boss.
Likes to pretend she's boss. Well, that's typical with a lot of horses anyway. They're a herd animal anyway, so they like to move up the chain. Yep. So anyway, okay, we'll get started. We'll see what she knows. We'll play with it a little bit, and then we'll see if we can't fix your trailer loading issues.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to go in here with Ruby. She's a 4-year-old quarter horse. She is broke to ride. She has a few trailer loading issues. Doesn't sound like they're too serious. Hasn't had a wreck or anything. So we're just going to work on some foundation here and see if we can't get her in the trailer. Much like our walk with Christ, we need to have a foundation first. We need to have we need to have something to work from. So anything you do with a horse, if you don't have a foundation, if you don't have some basic ground rules, then you've got nothing to fall back on. So we're going to see what she knows, see what she's scared of, see what was missed maybe in her foundation, and then we'll go from there. We won't go to the trailer right away, but we will mess with her here a little bit, and then we'll see if we can't address some of her trailer loading issues. So I'll go ahead and get started. She's obviously pretty gentle, so doesn't seem to have too many issues with me being around her. Didn't seem to be too apprehensive about me or anything, or my flag. So we'll check her out a little bit, see if she's seen a flag, see if she understands what it is. Obviously, it's not going to be too big of a deal. Won't take too long to get over that. See her check with me there? She's just asking me, hey, I'm all right. Was that right? Is that what you wanted me to do? So I just pet her, and it's like, yeah, that's what I wanted you to do. That's perfect. So we'll just ask her to lead by here on point, see if she can follow a feel. See if I can drive her a little bit. Oop. The horse has been lunged. This is our foundation right here. This is the first thing every colt needs to learn, is how to lead by. This is not lunging, this is leading by. I need him to go by respectfully, nose down and in, all 4 quarters reaching equally, little slew you in their body. And then they need to yield to this when I change hands. Nice. Yield her hind end. Now she's going to check me. Hey, did I do that right? Yeah, that's fine. You did a good job. Ask her to go the other way here. Just as soon as she not be in no hurry to go around there, I'm gonna like her to walk around there respectfully, not stampeding around there. Very nice. That's your start of a turnaround on a horse. If you're ever going to have your horse turn around for anything, they have to be able to yield the hind end, move their fronts across so they can go the other way. She's a little confused about what I wanted there. She thinks I want to go fast around here. I really don't want to go fast. I just as soon walk.
Well, that reminds me a little bit about Sometimes what's happening is his horse is getting a little bit ahead of Tim. He's trying to move a little bit fast, and probably because of something's happened in the horse's life. But we're like that a little bit too in our walk with God. Sometimes we want to get moving too fast, faster than what God wants us to do.
The only reason I don't want her to stampede around there, a lot of people lunge a horse. That's what I say. They put them out on like a 20-foot lead line and make them go around there really fast. Think they're going to get them tired. Really? You're not going to get a horse tired. You need to get in his brain first. You need to get in the mind. You need to train them from the standpoint from their mind. That way they're learning, not because they're tired. You can't get a horse tired anyway. She checked with me. I almost made a mistake there. I almost asked her to go again while she was checking with me. She was asking if she did a good job, so I did. I just told her, hey, yeah, you know what? You did a good job. Now I'm there. See? I took away less that time to get her to move her front across than it did the time before. All I had to do was just tap her a little bit with the flag. I've seen a lot of people use a flag as a weapon. It's really not a weapon. It's just a tool. All it does is make your arm longer so you don't. There, now. Now she kind of shouldered into me there just a little bit. If she had a tendency to be pushy, which she doesn't, that would have been a sign that I should have been pushing her off of me to keep her from running over me. She's not pushy, so it was okay that I kind of missed that. But if she was pushy, she would have ran over me, and I wouldn't have missed it the next time. So.
What we're seeing, as long as she's going at the speed that Tim wants her to go and not getting ahead of him, she doesn't get checked and stopped. And like you say, biblically, that's what we're supposed to be doing. Anytime we get ahead of God, he's going to check us and stop us and bring us back to where he wants us to go.
She's been pretty well started. Whoever started her did a pretty nice job. Mare's pretty well broke. She follows the field pretty nice. What I mean by feel is I'm not asking her to do anything right now. Pick up on this lead rope. I'm going to ask her to lead up. She leads up. Didn't take too much. Now I want her to back up. I'll just put a little life in that lead rope. She moves back. She follows the field pretty good. Unlike some of the other horses we've done, we did Cabo, who was really, really green. He didn't follow a field at all because he didn't know how. The other horse, Fuca, was pretty broke, pretty gentle, but she was really, really pushy. And she just run over you, so I had to spend 15, 20 minutes getting her off me. This horse is also, she's pretty broke. She's not pushy. She doesn't have really any issues that I've seen so far. So we'll go over here closer to the trailer and do a little work, and then we'll see if we can get in the trailer. There was no use coming over here by the trailer where there'd be any apprehension until we had some of this stuff working. Now, I don't know how many of you seen it, but she looked in the trailer right there. She was looking in there like, hey, maybe I'll get in there. I'm just going to put her to work here for a minute, and then I'll ask her to get in the trailer. Just the fact that she's looking is encouraging. A lot of horses that have had trailer issues won't even look for like 5-10 minutes here of work. Oh, there. So I'm not going to ask her to get in the trailer right away. We're just going to ask her to do a little bit of work right here by the trailer. That way we can establish the fact that where she's going to find a release, where she's going to find peace, is when we're in the trailer. Now she's getting in a hurry. I'll slow her down. Now I'll step up here and see if she can get in the trailer. She'll look in the trailer for me. Oh. There. Now, as long as she's trying, I'm going to leave her alone. If she's smelling, looking, I'm going to leave her alone. Now, when she quits trying, I'm going to pester her a little bit. Oop. She'll find release when she's trying. If she's trying, I'm going to leave her alone. It's like somebody's trying to come to God. You're not going to beat them up and tell them how stupid they are because they didn't get there right away. You're going to reward them for trying. Now
All
she's
too
a little
often.
apprehensive about me walking up there to pet her. She thought maybe I was going to get after her about something. No, I was just going to tell her what a great job she's doing. So,
Yeah, all too often that happens, though. All too often we're finding people who, we're sharing, our walk with God or whatever, and people will they'll just jump all over you because you don't do it quick enough, or they try to push you in there. That just like some people do with these horses, they'll put them in. As soon as they get them in, they slam the door behind them, and that doesn't teach you anything. But hey, I don't want to be there.
Right.
Now, when I checked her out over here, we didn't have any pushy issues. Now, some of these issues are starting to pop up because I'm putting a little pressure on her, and she don't like it. So she now wanting to push over me a little bit, make a few of the rules. That's okay. It's all right. We'll just put her to work here. She's got to learn that, you know what?
When she was out away from the trailer, she was comfortable because she wasn't around something new. But now that she's around something new like the trailer, this is a whole different ball game, and she's a lot more apprehensive.
Or even this is something she's had trouble with.
Yeah.
So it's something she's got apprehension with.
And a lot of it, just like church, anything, a lot of people have had a bad experience. And the
Makes them not
kinda,
want to go back into church.
The trailer's kind of representing the church and that. And unfortunately, a lot of people have been forced into the trailer.
See how she's trying to go everywhere else but look in that trailer now. We looked in it to start with, and now we're going to do everywhere else but look in it. As soon as she looks again, I'm going to leave her alone. Oh, there. Now she's gawking off. Now she looked, chewing her lips. She's starting to think again. When she's bouncing around here, this is pretty mild compared to a lot of horses I've worked with, but when they're bouncing around here, it means they're not thinking. When they're reacting, their brain ain't in gear. We need to get them to thinking and not reacting. There. What's the answer? Move your feet forward. As soon as she does, I'll leave her alone. If she doesn't want to move her feet forward, I'll keep pestering her. So now she thinks she's going to get away from me running backwards here. That's all right. There. Little pressure. She didn't like what we were doing. She thought she's going to take over. She's going to make the rules. So I just have to get after her.
Pretty typical. You see when she sticks her nose in the trailer, Tim just leaves her alone because that's what he wants her to do. There's no pressure. There's no anything. When she's tempted to do something different, she's going to have to work. She's going to have to move her feet. Pretty soon she's going to figure out that's not what she wants.
It's pressure when there's disobedience.
When there's disobedience. And, you know, we see that in our own walk. I ran, I can't tell you how far. Well, you guys know I ran from God for a long time. God knew where he wanted me to go, but I choose to go a different way. And that pressure came exactly the same way, and it wasn't until I started moving in the direction of him that he released that pressure.
Marty must reminded me of something. In my personal walk, it took 18 years. God had to get my attention with a huge 2x4. Then it still took 18 years for me to come around. A lot of people make a mistake with a horse. They get in a time frame, and I think it's the same way with people. I've never met a horse that had a wristwatch. Has anybody ever met a horse that had a wristwatch?
I haven't.
Time don't mean nothing to a horse. So if I come out here and it's like, I'm going to put this horse in the trailer in 10 minutes. Well, I would be making a mistake because I wouldn't be preparing the horse. I wouldn't be getting in the right place before we get in the trailer. We'll get in the trailer, but it might not take 10 minutes. It might take 20. It might take 45. It doesn't make any difference. The amount of time it takes to get her in the trailer the first time is irrelevant. After she gets in there correctly, this time she will load for life. We will have all these issues worked out. If it takes 3 hours, it takes 3 hours. Doesn't make any difference. You'll see a lot of these colt starting contests and stuff on TV where they have a time frame. I think that's a mistake. You cannot put time frame on a horse.
And I think sometimes it's the same thing with us. You know, and the deal is she's obviously had some kind of issue getting in the trailer. Don't have any idea what that was. Don't know if it was a previous owner or if she just got scared in there, whatever the deal was. But it's the same thing with us. We just bring issues with us, especially when we're talking about, you know, our walk with God, Christianity, those types of things. And sometimes it takes us a little bit longer to get over those issues. Sometimes it takes us what's called discipleship, somebody who walks us down the right path. And just like Tim's starting a foundation with this horse right here, getting her to where she needs to be, sometimes it takes that foundation with ourselves as well. Look at her. Yeah.
Well, that was a try. Boy, pet her for that. That was pretty nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. Okay, now, but I'm going to be picky now. I'm not going to be satisfied with her just looking in there because we got to progress. There we go. That's pretty nice.
Now, notice what he didn't do. You know what he didn't do? He didn't shove her in there and slam the door closed, because what would that have done? Taught her she don't want to be there.
The first thing to scare her back out.
That's right.
A lot of people make the mistake of pushing them right there. All she's doing is getting comfortable being in the trailer. She's only halfway in there. Obviously, you can't haul her half of the horse out and half the horse in, but she's getting comfortable. Now she's checking me, saying, hey, man, is that good? Is that what you wanted me to do? It's like, you bet. That's what I wanted you to do. That's right. Pretty soon, she's already made the leap now. Pretty soon, she'll have the whole horse in there. We're just getting comfortable getting in and out. That's very valuable because we can get the front feet in, we can get the front feet out. We can get the front feet in, we can get the front feet out. Front feet in, front feet out. Comfortably, controlled, not zooming around. So pretty soon we'll be able to get the whole horse in, the whole horse out, the whole horse in, the whole horse out. Now she's going to like, I don't know if I want to do that. I want to push on you. It's like, nah, how about we just get back in there?
And that's pretty typical too. She did the right thing, and then she was immediately tempted to go the wrong direction. We do that. We do that all the time. We know, we see where God wants us to go, and then we're like, nah, I think I want to go over here and do my own thing. And that's not, we can't be that way.
I try not to make too big a deal of the mistakes that she makes. I look at the mistakes that she makes as a chance to teach her. But I'm going to make a huge deal of the things that she does right. A lot of people say, well, she's only halfway in there. Don't make a big deal out of it. It's like, no. This is cool. If she's halfway in, we're all well on the way to being all the way in there. So now I'll see if she wants to get on in or she wants to get on out. I might see if she wants to step on in there for me. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe we're going to get out. That's okay. It's all right. We'll go right back in. Now, see, I'm not going to settle for that because we've already done that. We need to kind of work. We need to kind of progress. There. Whoop.
In and out, in and out, in and out. I love this. This is indicative of my life. This is what I did. I was in and out, until I finally figured out that being in was the best place to be.
Well, and what we're seeing here too is basically a riding the fence. You're
right.
Half in, you're half out. You're halfway following the Lord, and you're halfway following the old you, and you can see right here, neither one of these is good for the horse because, like Tim was saying, you can't haul half the horse.
Now look what Tim just did. This is what's so important. What Tim did, up until this point, Tim was standing outside holding onto that lead line and letting this horse move in and out. But now what he's done is he has stepped inside the trailer with this horse to say, hey, you know what? This is not a bad place. Matter of fact, I'm going to come in with you. That's exactly what God does. God says, you know what? I'm going to be where you're at. I'm going to go where I ask you to go. I'm not going to send you someplace
I'm not
and stay
asking
behind.
you to go somewhere that I've not already been.
That's right.
Now see if we can get just a little farther in there. There. That was a try. Didn't look like much, but she lifted a hind foot. That was a try. That was pretty good. I'm going to live with that for a second. Then we're going to ask her again. Nope. Now I'm not going to, she's going to get mad at me here, but I'm not going to let her get away with it here. She's like, hey, you're getting a little insistent. It's all right. So now what are we back to? We're back to reacting instead of thinking. But we came back pretty fast. There.
She wasn't on that trip very long.
She knows the answer here. She knows what the answer is. She's just like a kid going, well, you know what? I know I'm supposed to take the garbage out, but I don't want to. I'm going to throw a fit. Well, after you get the fit thrown, what happens? You still got to take the garbage out. There. So I'll settle for that just because we got back here where it's a quiet place.
There she goes.
Now, we're going to spend about as much time as it takes in here to get her comfortable. This is a really cool place. Somebody's been graining her in here. I need her to realize that this is a nice place to be in here because she did what she's supposed to do, not because she's going to get grain in here. A lot of people try to bait their horses in a trailer. Try to get them in here with some grain and some food. Well, you're getting them in the trailer sometimes when they want to and they're hungry, but you're not getting them in there when you want them to, and they're not learning how to get in there. So I'm not going to let her mess with the buckets here. I'm going to let her hopefully soak on what we learned. I'm going to tell her what a great job she did for getting in here. This is a nice place. It's not windy in here. It's a pretty nice place to be.
It's almost like she keeps looking back, wanting to know if that door's fixing to slam.
Right. Yeah.
What are you fixing to do to me? And I'll tell you, sometimes we've had bad experiences in church. We were talking about that a little bit ago, and you know, typically that's what we do. We see and we talk. We get to go travel all over the United States, and we talk to a lot of people, and we hear this story of what we're seeing in this horse is. You know, I had a bad experience at some point. I just didn't want to go. I've come back, but I keep expecting for something stupid to happen to tell me I'm not supposed to be here.
Right.
And that's why I think relational discipleship and I'm going to say this, and I'm going to just say right now, don't be sending me emails. I know you're watching this video. Don't be sending me emails. But the church is really at fault. We don't do a good enough job of truly showing the love of God. That's what Tim's doing right there. He's in there with that horse. He's saying, hey, I care about you. This is a good place. I'm going to be right here with you. He's rubbing on it. He's telling her she's doing a good job. And we've got to do a better job of showing that love of God. And until we do, we're going to have people consistently looking behind their shoulder, wanting to know what's going to happen in the church to cause them not to want to be there.
Well, in the horse industry, I mean, you see a lot of people who claim to be a horse trainer.
Yeah.
And they've got a lot of different ways that they think work. And some of them, like Tim was saying, yeah, they'll just go ahead and use the 2x4. And yeah, they got them in the trailer. But does he ever want to go back again?
Yeah.
And it's the same way with the church. You got a lot of quote unquote pastors who are leading with the same 2x4 mentality, and that's not biblical. That's not the way it should be.
So this is where she's comfortable. She's pretty comfortable putting half of the horse in and half the horse out. So I was going to see if I could get her to lead back in before she went all the way out, but she didn't want to. So we'll go back here and we'll drive her in. We'll see if we can get her drove in here. Come on. There. That's pretty nice. See the change there? That was awesome. Now this trailer's only about 5 feet wide. She could turn around in here, but it'd be kind of dangerous. And if there was 2 horses in here, you could kind of get in a jam. So there ain't no use letting her turn around in here. We might as well just teach her how to back out. She obviously already knows. We're going to back all the way out this time. Wow, that was pretty cool. Okay. Wow. Ain't that cool. All right. Now, she knows the answer now. This shouldn't take near as long. Come on. I have spent, with some of my harder horses, I've spent an hour and a half getting a horse in a trailer like this. And when you do, then you come in here and you pet them. Now, at some of my clinics, I've had people that like 30 people around watching, take an hour and a half to get a real troubled horse in the trailer. Then you come in here and pet him. First thing you do is you don't shut the door, and everybody's going, how come you didn't shut the door? It took you an hour and a half to put him in there. And then you come in and pet him, and then you take him back out. And you should hear the people go, oh, they couldn't believe that you spent an hour and a half putting the horse in the trailer, and then you're going to let it back out. Well, gee whiz, how are you going to learn to get in the trailer if you can't get back out? The point is learn to be able to get in and out of here on demand, not just get in once, slam the door, drive like a drunk Indian 300 miles, and then you'll have to do the same issue again. So let's see if we can get half of the horse out and stop. Woo, very nice. Now see if we can get the horse to lead back in here. All the horse come back in. Come on. Yeah, she's been pulled on a little bit in this situation, so she doesn't want to play that game. So I'll get back here and just drive her in. See if I can do it from right here. There. The reason she doesn't want me to lead her in is because she's still got a little apprehension about somebody. So there's probably been somebody in here pulling on her, somebody out there driving on her. So she's like, she's still holding on to that one thing that she won't let me have. She's going, you know what? I can still. You can't lead me in here. I'm going to hang on to that. I'm not going to give that to you. I'm going to hang on to that. But we'll get her to turn loose of that before we're done, and we'll be able to lead her in here or drive her in, either one.
That one thing. Well, I'll tell you what, that one thing, we all have that one thing we have trouble letting go of. So, you know, there's two big words I think of when I'm thinking about that: pride and forgiveness. Man, forgiveness is a tough thing. But the thing is, we'll never, just like this horse, until she truly gives up that one thing to Tim, she's never going to be what Rachel's going to want her to be. And same thing with God. Until we give up what we're holding on to, we're never going to have that relationship either.
Well, and also, like Tim was saying, the object is not to lock them in a trailer.
Right.
That's not what it's all about. That horse has got to learn to get in there and get back out and be taken someplace where they can do the job that they're intended to do. And the object is not to just get somebody in the church and lock the door.
Now we'll throw away our tool. Could probably get this done without the flag. We're not too far from being able to lead in here. Oh, that's all right.
She's got that anxiety, and that reminds me, 1 Peter 5:7 says,
I think the huge key is right here is I'm not making her get in the trailer. And when she's in here, I'm not shutting her in the trailer. I'm not forcing her to be in the trailer. The foundation, she already had a pretty good foundation, but the foundation that I put on my colts when I first started them is the first thing they learn is, you know what, if you're all wound up or wadded up or something, you're going to have the freedom to move your feet. That's okay, move your feet. The second thing they learn is probably not a good idea to be moving your feet unless I ask you. A lot of people get confused about that, but the point is, you got to get control. It's okay to choose, but then you got to learn where to put your feet when I ask. And it's not a good idea. It'll just create a lot of work. If you're gonna, okay, now we'll. Very good.
yeah, and that's just not going to happen until, like we were just talking about. First Peter 5:6-7 says, "Humble yourselves, be therefore under the mighty hand of God, so that He may exalt you at the proper time, casting all your care on Him, because He cares about you." We've got to give it all to Him, everything. Just
there,
like
she just turned loose there. She let me pull her. She let me lead her back in there. She just turned loose and let me lead the back half back in.
she just gave it up.
So now we'll back her out of here again. We'll do that a couple more times, and then she'll be able to follow me in, like a lot of people want their horses to do. They just want to be able to hop in the trailer and have their horse follow them in there. Okay, well, very nice. Very nice. Now I'm going to see if she'll follow me back in here.
Notice she's still looking back. She gave it up, but she's still looking back.
Yeah.
Coming? So I'm not going to weaken here. I'm not going to let her get away with that.
And there's the temptation.
There.
Said, maybe I can get away with it one more time.
Yep.
Now, the mistake a lot of people made there was you got to have faith, guys. Faith with no action is dead, as it says in James. But you have to have faith that this is going to work. A lot of people get frustrated. So what I was asking her to do was move her feet forward, come in the trailer. I wasn't driving her, I was pulling, trying to lead her in. Well, she decided she didn't want to lead in, so she went ahead and went backwards. Well, I didn't take the pressure off until she got her feet moving forward and got back in the trailer, because that's where I wanted. So you don't want to quit until you accomplish what you were after. You have to have the faith that it's going to work. You have to practice it enough that you know that it's going to work, no matter which horse. Horses are very, very good at making us give up, at making us quit. They're very, very good at that. They're very, very good at outlasting the human. And every time they outlast you and they make you quit and they make you give up, then they learn something. In a horse's mind, when you quit and you give up, they're like, well, I guess that's what you wanted me to do. So if you let a horse outlast you and you quit before you get what you want, you're just making them worse every time, and it's going to take longer. Every time you go back to that project, it's going to take longer to get what you want. There. That was pretty cool. All I had to do was move back, and she followed that feel and got right back in with me. That was pretty cool. I'm going to make a big deal out of that. That's pretty nice. They're a lot like kids. I've learned the hard way with kids. Make a big deal about the things they do right. Let's try not to make too big of an issue out of the mistakes they make. Now she's like, I don't really want to get out of here, man. I like it in here. I was asking her to back out. She's like, I don't think so. I think I like it in here. I think I'm just going to stay.
That's
I
right.
was like, all right, cool.
And I think that's the way we are too. Once we realize that, once we finally get in and give everything, you don't want to come out. You don't want to get out. You want to stay right there, because that's where you're the most comfortable. That's where you find your peace and your comfort.
Yeah, she's in a big hurry to get out of here a little bit ago. Now you really don't want to. I'm going to have to ask to get her out of here, but come on now. Okay. There. Now we'll see if she'll follow me in there. Looky, looky. All right. That was awesome. Went from being kind of crabby and kind of kicking up and not wanting to get in the trailer, and now it's like, okay, well, gee whiz. If all you're going to do is pat me in there, I'll get in there. I ain't no big deal. A lot of people try to make excuses for their horses, like, well, they've been in a trailer wreck, so. Well, they had a bad start, so. Well, it's like, you know what? There is no excuse, really. The end result, the rules are the same for all of them. It just takes a little bit different approach with each horse, and you just have to adjust your approach with each horse. So I didn't have to be too hard on this mare because she was pretty nice. All I had to do was just make her understand what I wanted, and then just ask her. And then reward her when she did what I wanted.
A lot of people are the same way. They get older and they say, well, I've done too much in my past. I'm too old to change now. There's no way. And the Lord said
surely
there's
God
no
can't
age.
forgive me for what I've done.
God could not forgive me for the things I've done. It's too late to start over. And this isn't just for colts, is it, Tim?
Oop. There.
Pace of duty.
Wonderful Wyoming wind. You got to love it.
Tim, would you say that this is only for colts?
What's that?
Would you say this training is only for a colt?
No, it's
There
for
you
any
go.
horse.
Any horse at any age with any problem.
You know what? When I first seen this, the guys I was learning from said, I can take any horse and put him in the trailer, and I thought, I bet not. They're right. I haven't met one yet that I couldn't put in the trailer. And no matter if they've been in a trailer wreck, like I said earlier, people like to make excuses. He's been in a trailer wreck. Well, he had a horrible time. Well, he doesn't. The trailer's too short. The trailer's too tall. The trailer's too narrow. He just doesn't like a two-horse trailer. A lot of people will make an excuse. Well, my horse just doesn't like a two-horse trailer. No. Once you have this down, once you have this working, you can put them in a two-horse trailer, and they'll go in every time.
And it may even be, there may be you may have an opportunity where the horse may regress a little bit, but all you got to do is come out, follow the same steps, maybe do a little bit of work with them right there in front of the trailer, and they'll do that every time.
Right. Now, say you rent, like say you got you a little bitty tiny two-horse trailer, and you're going to put this horse in a tiny two-horse trailer. You may have to go through a little bit of this to get in the two-horse trailer, but I'll guarantee it'll only take about 10 minutes. It won't take as long as it did to get her in here the first time. It'll take 10 minutes. It don't take very long. Like we talked about last night, provided that it's done correct, timing is crucial. You have to release when the horse is doing what you want him to do, and reward them when they've done what you want them to do. Timing is crucial. If your timing is off, I've been around some cowboys, some guys that are pretty good cowboys, their timing is absolutely backwards, and their horses get worse all the time when they wonder why. It's like because that's what you're teaching him to do. You're releasing when he's doing the wrong thing instead of the right thing.
And that's it right there. That picture is where we should be with God.
Right.
Every day of our lives. Just follow him wherever he asks us to go. No matter how scary it was.
And uncomfortable.
That's right.
Because you got faith in the one who put you in there.
That's exactly right. It's amazing to me every time I see a horse go from, hey, I don't want to be in there, to, hey, it's not that big of a deal, how much it just reminds me of my story and my life. And I'm sure it's the same for a lot of folks. But it is imperative that we understand. Again, I think that Tim's not asking this horse to jump in and out of there without him. He's right in there, right in there with the horse, and that's the same thing. We have got to remember that with God, he is with us everywhere we go, no matter how scary it is, no matter where he asks us to be. He's there. All we got to do is trust him.
Well, another thing we can look at here, this was a good horse that had a good foundation, but if you can't get it in the trailer, the only place you can use it is here.
Right.
And now that it's in this trailer and the trailer is not a problem, this horse can be used in many places. And when we stop growing, when we stop taking that step forward, we're never going to grow beyond what we can just do in the one spot.
That's right.
We could only wish that people was forgiving and learned as quick as horses do. People carry a lot of baggage around, and they're not very forgiving, and it takes a long time, seems like, to get to this point sometimes with an older horse or one that's been abused, it'd take a little longer to get to this point because they've got a lot of baggage they got to turn loose of. This mare had to turn loose a little bit, but not too much. She was actually a pretty nice mare. Yeah. Boy.
And earlier, that first step in that trailer was the hardest for her.
Now it's easy.
Now it's nothing.
Now it's easy. So. Much like our walk with Christians, in Christ, Bill, sometimes just getting to the church is the hardest part, and you sit in the back in the pew and hope nobody notices, and you just want to be left alone and be allowed to color and hope the preacher doesn't point you out. And, well, that's the hardest part. So, of course, I'd been to church like twice, and Marty points me out and makes me pray. I was like, wow, really? Great. Thanks, Marty. But like a good horse trainer, like a good horseman, they know when to ask a horse. They know when a horse might not think he's ready, but they know how to ask. So Marty did that with me. He's asking. I'm going, man, really? But it worked out.
He said, Tim was saying, I'd just soon put my 2 feet in and leave the back 2 feet out.
I bet if I stand next to the trailer.
Yeah.
Okay. Whoop. We're going to go ahead and let her turn around there. Do that a time or two. Just because you might need a horse to turn around sometime. Sometimes you might get in a jam and you got another horse in here that's kind of being a pain. You might need her to turn around to get out. So we can allow her to do that. I don't really like to do that, but the trailer was much narrower than this. Why? She'd have a hard time turning around. If she had a saddle on, she might have a little harder time turning around. But we just make a game out of it. Wow, ain't this fun? Okay. I'll have Rachel come over here.
Rachel, I think you need.
Get into the high country.